Miss Shandy, how are you? How are you? Finest sister ever. Okay. You're not hearing us? You're not hearing me? Okay, you guys cannot hear me on Instagram? No? Can someone confirm if you can hear me? I hope I'm not having yes, no, can you hear me on Instagram? Can y'all hear me on TikTok? Somebody, anybody. All right, so whoever says you can't hear me, then that's going to be on you. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Hey, Ghanaian wife, how are you? Hello, hello. Okay, perfect. So that's on you. That you have to figure out why you're not hearing me. Can y'all hear me on Facebook? And hi, Miss Gibson. Miss Gibson, can you hear me on YouTube? Loud and clear. Thank you. That solves it. Hi, everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Alpha Braids and Fabrics. Same here, Miss Gibson. Good to have you back. Can y'all hear me on? Okay, perfect. And TikTok, so we're good. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I literally was running on the 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒂𝒏𝒕 ticket because I had to do. I know about y'all's who, if you have young kids and they play sports, like in teacher school, if your kid plays a sport, you've got to sign up for working a concession stand night. We roll my eyes to the back of my head. But I mean, I understand everybody has to volunteer, everybody has to chip in. So tonight was my night. It's like, okay. And it was fun. It was actually fun. It was actually fun selling to people. It's like, yeah, it was fun. But anyway, here we are. So I'm literally just coming in. My office bag is still in the vehicle, but we'll get that later. Hi, everybody. Happy Tuesday. We're still moving. We're still going. We're still living. We're still doing all things through God's who gives us strength. Yes. So if you are just joining us for the first time, welcome in. This is Attorney Abisola Adebola Olale Samuel Mobabasamu. Immigration attorney based in Alabama, representing immigration clients in all 50 states. If you've got an immigration case, trust me, this is not the time, like I said the last time, this is not the time to do DIY, do it yourself. You want to make sure, if anything, especially with the craziness going on in the country, you want to make sure that you've got an attorney that is representing you. Like what else? I was talking to one of my clients earlier this morning, and they were like, okay, so what do I have to show that you're my attorney? I was like, you have a G28. You've got a G28. G28 is a notice of appearance form for attorneys. If you have an attorney in your case that they can, hey, Miss Sanctuary, that we have to file. And as attorneys, if you have something with USCIs, if you've got a case with EOIR, Mini Immigration Court, then we have an EOIR 28. That you have to file. If it's with BIA, I think it's EOIR 27. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's it. So you've got to have that is evidence that you, and obviously your attorney has to sign it. Now I'm trying to make sure I'm signing for my clients, because I usually have print out and then sign. So that's your that's a way to know, or to let them know that you've got an attorney in your case. So this is not a time to do I mean, that's nobody's saying you're not smart, but But anyway, so if you're just joining us for this first time, we do this every Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Zone, and every other time zone, I don't know. Gotta ask Google or Siri; they'll tell you, or Alexa, one of those. Welcome in. Let us know what city, what state, what country you're joining in from, and with everything that's going on now, it's more important now than ever to have this safe space that we can come together as immigrants and just be there for one another. This is not the time, Kyla, who does our social media, she sent me, some people were going back and forth on one of our posts on Instagram, and I was like, Not gonna happen. So I just delete, and I told her, send them messages and tell them if they continue, we're going to block them, because there's just so much of negativity being directed at us. Y'all, when I have someone who does our posting, obviously I have to review and make sure that any legal information is accurate. But the thing is, I make it a point not to read comments, because, and I told the girl who does, like, if you read the comments from these anti-immigrant people, you're not going to do this work. You're going to be discouraged, because, people call us all kind of stuff. They post all kind of, and sometimes, I go through social just to see what's going on our pages and all that. And, sometimes I respond to comments, or if I want to clarify something, for instance, somebody came on, we made a post about real ID dates. Somebody came out like, it's been rescheduled to 2027. Like, the frustrating for me is you're misleading people, because we're not irresponsible with information for us to just put it out there without making sure we research. But when people come and just come in without any source of your information, and they're going to confuse people, things like that, I jump in like, don't do that. Make sure you've got your source, because we have enough misinformation going on. The last thing you want to do on my page is to not let people think otherwise. No, so don't do that. No, we ain't going to do that. But it is a positive space. There's just so much attack going on. We just need to be there for one another and just keep going. But most importantly, we got to pray for one another. So welcome. This is our space. I'm hoping that in this period, especially this period we're going through, my hope is that you come here every Tuesday and Thursday, and you feel safe, and you feel heard, and you feel supported, and you feel motivated, and you feel encouraged, and know that you're not alone. And you let the testimonies of others encourage you, and just pray for one another, because that's all we can do for each other. When you see, people's cases, and sometimes we get, denials. For instance, we got a VI denial today. That was just crushing, very, very crushing. We haven't seen the actual notice. I kind of have a feeling it's going to be a divorce decree issue, and that's been the number one reason. But then again, today also is a day where Mr. A sent us his a photo of his oath ceremony from yesterday. This is the same person who had a 2-year green card, 2.5 years ago. He was at the lowest of lows, really, literally, because, he was married to somebody who told him his 2-year green card was going to be the last. He was going to make sure that he got deported. And like, he just thought he had to, I think if I'm not mistaken, he was like, okay, what if he relocates to Canada? Like, you ain't going nowhere. You're not going to give up before it's time to give up. No, but why? No, she does not have the authority to decide what God's destiny is for you. So we filed a 751 abuse case. It was still pending. He became eligible for citizenship, filed the citizenship. I want to say July or August of last year. Don't quote me on that. But anyway, as God would have it, this same person who said he's never going to go beyond a 2-year green card, he is now a citizen. So let those stories encourage you. Even the ones that when people get, like Miss E, I was telling her today, like, don't be discouraged. Let's see what happened first of all, and we'll go from there. You cannot be defeated. There's so much negativity that's going to, discourage you already. But let's come together. Let's pray for one another. Let's believe that there is nothing God starts that he cannot finish. There is no one whose journey has brought them here. If it's part of your destiny for you to be here in this country and to survive and to thrive in this foreign land, quote unquote, there is no law that's going to be passed that is going to affect you, and that's going to be adversarial to you. Your destiny shall and will be fulfilled as God has destined. So welcome, as Ms. Eleanor Sanctuary would say, it's the most positive social platform in social space or something along those lines. Anyway, once again, this is Attorney Olaleye. If we can help you with your immigration case, our contact information is 334-341-4475, olaleyelawfirm.com, info@olaleyelawfirm.com. We will be glad to represent you and to, help you navigate this craziness. I was telling the same client this one. I was like, listen, if anything, I'm more geared, fired up to really, intensify my advocacy, because this is, to know me to know I don't back down. Like my mom is always praying. She's like, I be so like, my niece, I don't back. I just don't know how to back down. So we're in this together. We're going to fight together. We didn't come here for us to now be, removed in shame. God is not a God of confusion. So, and whatever it is that we have, that he has destined for us, I truly believe that we shall see that come to fruition in our individual lives and collectively, in Jesus' name. So, for those who go back and forth on our platforms, please, this is one of the very limited spaces we've got to be together to encourage one another. It's not for us to go against each other. Okay. So please, let's work together on that. Anyway, let's talk immigration, y'all. Okay. Real quick, let's run through some immigration updates, and then we'll get to as many questions as possible, because there's a whole lot that has happened in this past 1 week. It's just been 1 week, and there's a whole lot that's going on. So many stories, schools, they're saying they're being raided. Then they come back and say, no, it was a Secret Service that was there. But people are being arrested. People are being detained. People are being deported. We saw what happened unless you're living under a rock. 2 military planes were directed to Colombia to go deport Colombians, and it became a Twitter war. It's a mess. Now, you know what they say, FAFO. I was watching something on TikTok because someone was crying. And I'm not trying to be funny, but this person was crying and saying that, well, I voted for this person because I thought this was what he meant he was going to do. I didn't know it was going to affect my family, where my mother is now separated from our family. Well, you've got to, if nothing, you got to give it to the guy. He said this is what he was going to do. I'm not really sure why people did not believe him. Now he is doing exactly what he said he was going to do. So that's exactly what's happening. But we know that there is no human that is on this earth that has a power that's beyond the power from heaven. There is none. There's nothing Pharaoh didn't think he could do to the children of Israel, right? But we know what happened. And we know what happened to his own army. So there is nothing that comes against you that God cannot conquer. That's the one thing you have to know. So let's not go against each other. So real quick, immigration raid is a real thing. In the last week, it's not going as quickly as they thought it was going to go, because they are really finding out that it's a lot more expensive to even put together resources for just one plane to one part of one country, let alone different countries. So this whole thing, I have a feeling it's going to really subside a little bit, because I don't see how those in Congress, they think they have the seat now, but come 2 years, everyone is going to be, half of them are running for re-election. They're going to be thinking for the future and trying to keep their seats. Whatever they do now is going to determine whether or not they stay in power. These Republicans feel like they're in power, they're emboldened now and all that. But then again, Americans, they vote. So 2 years from now, people are going to come around and see what's going to happen. Obviously, the birthright citizenship thing is still in court. There's no update on that as the time I came on. But their argument is this. They're saying now, in reality, there are quite a number of the westernized countries that do not have birthright citizenship. That's true. It doesn't change the fact that if the United States 14th Amendment says this is what is going to be in our country, they are trying to say that that's subject to the jurisdiction thereof. And by God, I'm telling you, it would not shock me if the Republican-led Supreme Court decides to overturn their previously decided case, like 100 years, whatever, 200 years ago, and go with this. It would not be shocking. That's just the truth. So the reason is, if none of the parent is subject to the jurisdiction of the United States, then the child should not acquire citizenship by birth automatically. One of such parent the mother must be a citizen, a green card holder, or even if the mother is not a citizen, a green card holder, the father has to be at least a green card holder, even better, a citizen. If none of those applies to either parent, then that means the parent is not subject to the United States jurisdiction, and therefore the child should not be a citizen. However, the way that the Constitution reads to any sensible person is that the child is the one being talked about, a child born and naturalized and subject to the jurisdiction thereof. Meaning, because I think because this is just English, this is pure English. If the U.S. Congress wanted to include the fact that the subject to the jurisdiction thereof has to be the parents, then why didn't you just include that in the Constitution at that point, right? Now, there's also a bill being sponsored by Republicans in the Congress to potentially amend that 14th Amendment to make it where there is no such thing as birthright citizenship unless you fall within those categories. So that's still in court. When there's an update, we'll let you know. The main thing right now that's a lot of people are really, really concerned about is about being at risk of deportation. There's a video we posted on our social media platforms. That's what we're seeing. People with criminal history. Unfortunately, people without criminal history are also being detained and deported. People who have removal orders, to include if you were ordered removed in absentia, meaning that you were not in court, you were not present in court when the immigration judge ordered you removed. Those are also people who are at risk for deportation. We also have people who cross the border. He's already shut down the border anyway. The CBP one is gone, where you can make an appointment to have an interview at the border. That's gone. So if you came in under the Biden administration and you're being caught, that's actually an expedited removal. And also for those who have came in legally, overstayed, and you've got no pending cases. Now, the one question that's come up a lot is, question case to work pending. I need pending case at work permit in the US. Let me be very clear. Having a work permit does not authorize you to stay in the United States. A work permit authorizes you to work in the United States. It doesn't confer on you any legal status, any legal right to stay. It authorizes you to be gainfully employed, and based on that, you can get your IDs and social security number and all that. If you've got a pending application, like asylum, like a green card application, that authorizes you to stay. So the way I wanted to think about it is this: if you file an asylum case, your receipt notice, when you get your asylum receipt notice, actually stays on the receipt notice that, so based on this pending, I can't remember, I'm just paraphrasing, this authorizes you to stay. It doesn't confer you lawful status, but it authorizes you to stay in the country while your case is pending. That's very clear. Another thing that authorizes you to stay, now there's a difference between being authorized to stay in the country and being in legal status. Being authorized means you have a pending case, you don't have any legal status, but you've got a legal basis to remain in the country pending a decision. That's what being authorized is. It's completely different from you've got TPS, you've got a VA approval that now comes with initial grant of deferred action. You've got CJs. Now, those are things that allow you that prevent you from being removed. If you've got an I-130 petition that you are the beneficiary of, an I-130 petition has zero benefit besides being an underlying petition as a basis for you to now apply for a green card. A standalone I-130 petition does not do nothing. It doesn't give you, and it doesn't confer in the deferred action, nothing. Just the same way someone who is outside the country can be the beneficiary of an I-130 petition, it doesn't do anything for them until they actually start to apply for an immigrant visa at the embassy. So big difference between lawful status and being authorized to stay. If you got a pending I-485, it authorizes you to stay. It does not give you it doesn't protect you from being placed in deportation. An example would be you've got a green card application pending, right? You file a marriage-based case or an employment-based case, and you've got a pending application. You're no longer in status, but you've got that pending, and you have you're arrested for a DUI, right? You can actually be, depending on your state, and I'll get to another thing that would even make it worse. Depending on your state, you get arrested, your local law enforcement authority and enforcement agents can actually transfer you to ICE, because even though you've got a pending green card application that authorizes you to stay while your case is pending, because it doesn't confer you any legal status, that doesn't shield you from being placed in deportation. That's why you've got people who actually have a marriage-based case and all that. Something happens and they're referred to immigration court. Now, you can have your case terminated because you've got another relief pending with USCIS. That's another ball game. So just to be clear, because a lot of people think, okay, since I'm going to need kids to work, for me, when they deport me, authorization to stay, and as long as you don't break any law and you're good to go, you've got proof that you've got your receipt notices, you've got your work permit that shows that you're in the country, you've got your case is still pending. And another way I wanted to look at it is this: USCIS, when you file an I-485, you're able to file, as long as you're not in immigration court, an advanced parole application. Because you have the I-485 that authorizes you to stay in the country while your case is pending, that's why when you travel on an advanced parole, as long as that's valid and you've got no other issues besides the overstay, you're able to come back in the country. Oh Lord, I was going to break my nail. You're able to come back in the country with your advanced parole and resume work waiting on your case, because that pending I-485 authorizes you to stay, and that allows the advanced parole to allow you to gain re-entry back in the country and resume your application. Make sense? But it does not mean you cannot be placed in deportation, removal proceedings, if you do something that makes you that makes them placed in deportation. Another way to think about it is this: even if you are a green card holder and you commit a deportable offense, the fact that you've got the permanent green card does not prevent you from being placed in deportation, even as a green card holder. So this is just trying to explain that, okay, so the best thing you can do is, like I said, you've got an attorney in your case, confirm your, listen, I'm not even kidding you right now, because I haven't checked my email in a while. Right now I have 1,836 emails in my inbox. Yes. And so because, obviously majority from clients, because someone else takes care of potential clients, because people are afraid. And that's why I said the last thing we want to do amongst ourselves is now to create animosity. We don't need that. Okay, so that's that. So we've talked about risk of deportation. We've talked about the immigration raid. The Laykin-Riley Act. Important. Laykin-Riley Act. What is that? So unfortunately, a young lady was murdered by an undocumented immigrant. Because of that, this actually started in Georgia, but now the U.S. Congress, this is not even the state level, this is the federal level. U.S. Congress has passed the Laykin-Riley Act. This is not just passing in the House of Reps and the House of Senate. No, the U.S. Congress itself, they have passed the Laykin-Riley Act. How does this affect immigrants? Here's how it affects immigrants, and it's got potentially dangerous consequences. I'm not trying to be a bearer of bad news. I'm just trying to make sure you are in the know, so that you are aware that you cannot just do whatever, especially during this time. You can't just go, like as I said, one life to live. That's okay. But as my dad would say, as you lay your bed, so you lie on it. Laykin-Riley Act has passed the House of Reps and it's passed the Senate. The only thing that it is waiting on for it to now become a law. And before I came on, I was trying to see if he signed it, but I'm sure he'll sign it anytime soon. The only thing that it's keeping it from becoming law right now is because once the U.S. Congress passes a bill, it's forwarded to the president. The president has to sign it into law, and then it has an effective date. So that's the only step that is left for the president, this new guy, or this returning guy, to sign it, and then it would have an effective date. How does this affect immigrants, or especially undocumented immigrants? If you are a non-citizen, that even also includes green card holders, and you commit certain offenses, especially if you are undocumented and commit certain offenses, such it to include petty offenses. When I say petty, I mean as little as shoplifting. In most states is like a violation, sometimes it's a citation, sometimes that was a misdemeanor. As little as a petty offense as shoplifting. This law is going to mandate, it's not optional, it's going to mandate the local authorities to arrest you based on accusation and you being charged with the crime, those certain crimes, not on conviction. Based on you being accused and charged with that crime, they are going to be mandated to arrest the non-citizen and transfer you, detain you, and transfer you to the custody of ICE. And you can also go, so you go through the immigration process, and they're going to expedite your proceedings. And so potentially that person can stand expedite removal after going through that, immediately, like they want it to be quick. So it's going to potentially create a situation where people may end up being deported even before the criminal charge they were charged with is disposed of. So someone can end up being deported and eventually be acquitted of that charge. It may be dismissed, but that's going to be too late. That's what this bill is going to do. So, am I down? It's very harsh. It's almost it's unconstitutional because normally the way it should be, due process, you are proven you're innocent until proven guilty, regardless of what it is you're being charged with. So as soon as I heard that, my mind went to my guy that it's going to be exactly 2 weeks this Friday, charged with drug trafficking in 2019. What if this case was still pending, he will be one of those cases where it will be an expedited removal because there is no such thing as a waiver for that kind of case. He's a green card holder and he would be removed regardless of whether or not he's going to be eventually convicted, because it's not going to be a conviction that's going to be the basis of the detention. It is an accusation. So even if that person not eventually is cleared of that crime, of those charges, it's possible they've already been removed from the country. There's a whole lot going on, people. There's so much going on. And last update, Real ID is coming. And now the date may be subject to change, but for right now, as of today, our Real ID compliant date is going to be May 7, 2025. May 7. So the person who made a comment on our page that is 2027, very likely to give, because this information is coming from DHS, Department of Homeland Security website. If that changes, they are going to, because they've been pushing it, I think it was sometime in 2023. That is always, laws are always subject to change. But for right now, if it doesn't change, what does that mean? It means that especially for flying, if you are someone who is undocumented, most states, there's some states, sanctuary states, that would give you IDs to undocumented immigrants regardless of your immigration status. But when it comes to flying commercial airlines, you're going from one city you're going through TSA, Loricon. If you don't have a real ID, you are not going to be allowed to board the plane. Each state, so if you go on Google and put what is a real ID, the state issued real IDs will have a specific symbol on those. Like in my state, we have it on the right. It's usually at the top right corner, and that signifies as a real ID. If you are someone who's visiting the United States temporarily, you can use your foreign passport in conjunction with evidence that you are legally present in the United States. This is just another way to just try to trap an undocumented immigrant, because obviously someone visiting temporarily, They've got their visa, they've got their I-94 that shows how long they're authorized to stay so they can use their foreign passport. Someone who has overstayed cannot get a real ID from their state and don't have legal presence, right? So we cannot give up. We got to keep going. That's all we can do. I just want you guys to be in the know. So those are the updates. Let me see. Those are the updates I have for tonight. We take it a day at a time, and that's all sure people. Okay, I was gonna put updates like, but I didn't even put it there. So all right, let me get the questions. That was a mouthful, so we get to Remy. Okay, how's TJ and his brother? They are doing wonderfully well. Thank you, Miss Deborah. Hello, Miss Tina. How are you? Hey, Miss Martha. It was nice talking to you yesterday. Disclaimer, questions or answers to questions generate information, nothing specific to anyone's case. So let's try. Okay. I applied, Mike says, I applied for asylum from 2023 and B1, B2 visa and have a work permit, but no criminal record. Can that person get deported? If you've got, I think I already explained that asylum, your receipt notice actually tells you you're authorized to stay in the country. Hey, Miss Lisa, how are you? I got a notification that my EAD is revoked. Is it because I already have a green card? I'm not sure what you're talking about now about revocation. Sometimes they will deny you, but so I don't know. So I don't represent you anymore. So if you want to go further to discuss that, you can schedule a consultation. But I'm not sure of what revocation. Now, if I got an I-130 denial today for a client, and he specifically stated that they denied it because he already has his I-45 approved, which he got in. Mr. Tolu got his green card sometime last November. So when we had a pending I-131, so obviously that was going to be denied. Then another lady, Miss Miss C, they denied her what's it called? 76 work permit, yeah, because she's got a green card. So that's I've not seen revocation. So yeah, but anyway, okay. Yes, please subscribe, follow, like, share all our platforms at Olale Immigration, especially our YouTube. We're trying to build our channel. Please, we would really appreciate that. Thank you, Miss Abena. Thank you, Nohim. Greetings from Maryland. Thank you. I'm trying this. I want to see how it's going to work out. Finance Shandy, are we good for Thursday? I'm hoping. I want to bring in a pastor on Thursday, so you guys don't want to miss it. I'm hoping he can make time. I want him to come and just pray over everyone and just say a word of prayer, and for us all to agree, because there's nothing like the power of prayer. The strongest weapon you can ever fight your battles with is prayer. That is the ultimate weapon you can fight your battles with. And it is your heart's cry to God. And there is no one who can fight for you like God can. There is absolutely no power we have to fight our own battles. So I'm praying that he's able to make it. I know he's working. He's obviously like we all do. So if he's able to come in, we'll just have that real quick before we go in. So I just feel like within my spirit that we need to do that and just come together as a group to just pray for one another. Where were you? We immigration journey, testimony, encourage one another. Yes. All questions on this live generation mission. Hello, Miss Gail. How are you? Yes. Thank you, Miss Event. It's 41 as of 30 minutes ago. It's 41 people on here. Can't you like the video and share? Hello, Miss O. How are you? And Miss O is joining us from Maryland. It's amazing that the life-changing work that this work gives, the joy I get, because Miss O has been in this country since 1999. I'm going to say Igbo proud. You're the one I'm talking about, but don't I say Miss O. So I think, correct me, but I think she's been in the country since 1999. Hasn't been able to leave, nothing. They filed something initially. They weren't advised correctly. Came to find that she could not do anything with what was filed on her behalf. Long story short, We started her case in 2023. And since 1999, that is what? 1999 to 2024, 25 years. For 25 years, she could not leave the country. She finally went back to Nigeria for Christmas in December. I know she was scared. She was like, "Are you sure I'm going to come back?" She came back in last week. She finally saw family members that she hasn't seen in 2.5 decades. Those are things that just make me go that God is great. God is great. God is great. New USCIS PD news. Is that for people with a denied I-485, or would that work for someone starting I-485? I haven't seen any new. I haven't been not seen any updates, because I get a lot of updates in my email, so I can speak to that. Good to hear, Miss Tina. Can you reiterate what was happening? Real ideas. So I always post this, like after every live, it would be on the platform, so you can go and watch it again. Apply for EAD renewal over 6 months. No notice of action from USCIS. Tried ombudsman. Congressional inquiry all to no avail. What can I do? You may want to have to file another one. Okay, so Miss O says, thank you, because prayer is the key. Yes, what God cannot do does not exist. It's actually on Miss Bennett says, it's actually sent it to people now. She ain't playing with you. Okay. Miss O, I love you, and God will continue to bless you. Amen. Thank you, because amen. Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Amen. When she told me, she was like, you have no idea, Journey. I'm seeing family members I haven't seen in. Yeah. Anyway. See, this is what gets me emotional, because my mom says I'm too rigid. Like, oh, my should be up on it. Let me roll my eye. Kind of understand, the legal field is a male-dominated field. Like, you can't be a pushover in the field that I'm in. You can't. And someone was telling, someone was, I think, introduced me to somebody, and he said something. He goes, I'm not sure how it's going to be like dating someone who argues for a living. That's the last time he heard from me, because I ain't got time. Because anyway, I digress. I got my 3rd prima facie renewal. Am I at risk of being picked up by ICE? Thanks. So that's not what I said. So this video is going to be up, like I said, for everyone to go back and look at it and watch it. So hopefully it answers some of your concerns. Okay. Hey, TikTok family. All right, let's see, 912. And my baby boy, when I say baby boy, I mean TJ. His team. So basketball season is coming to an end. Junior varsity, they had their final game on Saturday. His team, we didn't win, but we were the first run out, so that's okay. It's not okay, because as a Nigerian mom, you're like, okay, she get first, but it's not the only one playing, so that's okay. But they played hard. So this week is varsity, and he's also part of varsity as one of their filling players, because Jero nice grade. Varsity is 10 to 12, but Jero is part. He played so hard. His coach was like, okay, let's just put you and one of his other buddies as the fillings from 9th grade. So he's there. After my concession stand, it's like, so that's why my house is quiet. But we have a tournament Thursday and Saturday. Then we'll on to the next thing. I have a quick. Okay, what's your question? My office is in Alabama, but I represent immigration clients in all states. Can you be deported if you're married to a U.S. citizen and have a valid work permit? So I think I gave a very detailed explanation of how this thing works, and very, very clear that a work permit has nothing to. A work permit doesn't give you any reason to stay in the country. A work permit just allows you to work legally. But this video is going to be up, so please go watch it, and so that you can refer to it and know. Yeah. So that's what I'm going to say. Thank you, Oshu. Yeah, let's fight the battle together, but we can't fight the battle for ourselves. We know the ultimate defender is going to fight on our behalf, but we will do our part. Okay, let's see. If I have a J1 visa that is not subject to the 2-year residency, can I change status to H? You can change status to anything as long as you're still in valid status to and eligible to change, and you're not subjected to your residency. Let's see. Can I apply for citizenship after 5 years of marriage? And I-130 was approved in 2022, but green card is 1 year. It's not about the marriage. It's about how long you've been a green card holder. Either you've been a green card holder for 3 years and then you apply based on marriage, or 5 years based on being legal permanent resident for 5 years. Citizenship application has nothing to do with how long you've been married. Is it safe for anyone to apply for citizenship now? Absolutely. Absolutely. And everyone that has a child, like if you have a child today, please make sure you're matching your first of all, you're matching your your child's name to the father's name. Everything has don't procrastinate. Say, okay, mama, no. Let get all what is the hospital record matches the birth certificate and all that. Get all that, and then your next stop once you're out of the hospital is to go get your child his or her passport, because there's an injunction to stay in place. But if that stays lifted and nothing is done and all that, I think it's going to be I'm hoping this is something that's going to be stayed for the rest of the 4 years, because it would be complete foolishness. Dare I say, complete foolishness if people were going to vote for somebody else like this who's going to create this much division in the country. Because if a Democrat comes in, this is going to be eradicated, because each party has their own. But I think I will always want to have a party where there's more peace and there's more unity than division. That's just me. So yes, please match your information together, and then stop on your way home. Stop and get. I mean, it's not funny. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. So please go ahead and apply for citizenship. This is year 5 of green card. Does my wife still need my info for citizenship? Married 8 years. No, if you've been a green card holder if your wife has been a green card holder for 5 years, then the person can apply on their own. 3 years is when you need to prove that you're still in a marital union. Okay, let's see. Can one apply for citizenship after 2 years of being in the United States as a spouse? No. Now, if you're looking to apply for citizenship in less than 3 years, join the military. Join the military. You don't need to wait. If you have a conditional green card, you actually don't even need to file an I-751 before you file for citizenship if you join the military. And they actually will file it on your behalf, and you become a citizen and bypass the 751. So you can go from conditional residence to a citizen. I have a conditional green card extended for 48 months, waiting for I-751 to be approved. Can I travel abroad? I don't answer questions. If you're not a client, I don't answer whether or not you can travel. Generally, as long as you have no other issues, I-751, the original, and your green card suffice. It actually states it. And then I'm always confused when people ask, can I travel with a pending 751? The extension notice actually states that you can work and travel. Whether you as the individual can now travel, that's between you and your attorney, because the fact that you can travel does not mean, things can happen. I've seen people go from CBP inspection, pending 751, straight to NTA, referred to immigration court, because it said you didn't travel with your spouse. We suspect, we look through your phone and we see that you are involved in a sham marriage. There's a whole lot that I've seen. Like I said, it's going to be 10 years, God willing, in October that I've been doing this work. That's why my hair is completely gray. When I started, I had really, really good black hair. Now I have really, really good black and white salt and pepper hair. Yeah. So can you file for your spouse's green card if you don't live together because of an academic commitment? I think I've answered that before. As long as you have a reasonable explanation, and get yourself a lawyer. Let's see. Are checkpoints legal? They really do that? Yes, they do. Anything as far as they always couch it under national security. So like it's national. Listen, sometimes it's not about just fighting because it's their country that they stole from other people. But just protect yourself and your family. Okay. All right, answer that question. After naturalization questions, and they said they will get back to you. What does that mean? It means they will get back to you. Okay. I was just reading everything on your profile and website and felt very happy. Thank you. I'm hoping it makes you happy, not sad. Thank you. I'm really humbled. What about driving without a light? You don't even want a traffic violation. You don't want to put yourself in the position where, especially when this Lincoln Riley Act goes into effect, you already know. You can see how they're abusing everything. They're abusing the authority, the powers. Anything that's going to make them have a reason to even... People don't even have it. It's just about conducting raids, that detaining people who are even citizens just because they're brown skin. Come on, so okay, what charge you with DUI? I mean, come on. Weekend, have designated driver. This is all I can do, and just give you the information. I mean, you've got to make sure you are just doing what you can on your end. Can an undocumented who came in legally with zero criminal records be deported under Trump? Is it possible? Yes. That will fall under the category of people who have overstayed and have no pending applications. With I-130 pending, I'll say I-130 does not give you anything besides you're just the beneficiary of that I-130. I-130 is not the same as an I-485 that allows you. So the way you can look at it is this: I-130 is a petition. You cannot file a work permit based on I-130. You cannot file advance parole based on I-130. But based on that I-130, you're able to file an I-485, which is a green card application. And based on the I-485, you're able to file a work permit and advance parole that allows you to be free, travel, work while that is pending. I-130 is just the basis for you to file a green card. It doesn't give you anything as a standalone petition. That's it. It doesn't do anything beyond getting approved. Okay, 22. Do I still have to go for an interview for my permanent green card if I have a conditional one? And that's up to USCIS. Let's see. Can someone with an asylum status already without green card yet be deported? As if you have been granted asylum, then you are an asylee. That is a legal status. So being an asylee protects you. However, if you do something that is deportable, and a deportable offense that violates your asylee status, you can be placed in deportation proceedings. I hope that explains that. Let's see. Okay. Do you have an office in Las Vegas? I do not, but we represent immigration clients in all states. That's very thoughtful. Okay, thank you. I'm trying to get to Instagram, so I may skip your questions. I know there's a whole lot going on, so we'll try to do as many. I think on Thursday we'll do another question session. Okay, my friend has DACA. She has advanced parole and is going to Guatemala February. I'm not going to, like I said, anything. If you are traveling, please understand that means you should have an attorney in your case. If you don't have an attorney in your case, you're traveling, I'm not really sure what is going on. So talk to your lawyer, okay? Can you be deported if you have a? I think so. Like I said, this video is only about. I think that explains how this works. So, okay, can you talk to me from your office? Yes, I represent immigration clients in any state. I do actually. Even if you were in Alabama, we're still going to do a Zoom here, unless you're just someone who's not tech savvy at all. But yeah, that's what I do actually. I had court today. That's why I'm black. Came on the aunts. You see, and you were black. Black Loma won court. Them I like it. Had a child abuse hearing. So, because I'm a state attorney for state of Alabama, I'm everywhere, y'all. I'm everywhere. I don't know how I do it. I just do. I go. I go. So, child abuse case. Those are tough cases. So, like, we're the ones saying this lady, listen and don't judge. It's a tough one for me because this is an elderly lady. She's almost 70, been teaching her entire life, and something happened and she was found that she abused this child, and we are trying to put her name on the registry where she can never get a job as a teacher. Listen, don't judge. Not, this is just the job that I have to do. Yeah, it's a tough one. Those are the ones that are really, really tough for me. It's just really tough, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So that's why I'm in black today, y'all. Well, I'm always in black for the most part. Hold on one second. I'm going to get to Instagram. I think the next time we're going to start on Instagram. I may skip your question. Just bear with me. I apologize in advance. 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. We will do that on Thursday. Hello, God's favored. Thank you, Tulunope. Oh, hello, Mr. Diego. How are you? Let's see. Hello, Mr. Taiwo. Okay. Hello, Abubakar. How are you? Please, Ma, I need your help. Schedule your consultation with us. We'll be glad to help you. Okay, thank you. We can. Hey, Mr. Kelvin, 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. What's been going on? Because we're in this. I think financially was trying to matchmake. Yeah, I don't know. Can't even keep up my own life. Let's see. I'm skipping some questions. So like I said, I apologize in advance. I'm just trying to see what it is. Antonio 25, to each their own. You can keep doing it to yourself, and that's fine. Yeah. I didn't say there was anything wrong with it, but that's hey, to each their own. Thank you, Miss Adina. Let's see. I'm so happy for Mr. A. You have no. Obviously, we had to blur his face because it was an abuse case. It was, and she tracked him. It was just a messy thing. Hello, Mr. Allen. How are you? How is life as a green card holder? Very good evening. Miss you all. Can't wait to start the citizen process, counting the days. Please keep counting. We're looking forward to working with you again. Okay. Again, Antonia. Anyway, let's move on. Can someone use VAWA and I-45 that's already filed but pending to file for relief at the immigration court? So earlier today, some of my colleagues and I were talking that PD seems to be going away. So it used to be a lot easier if you have the other side agree and then you go to court and you terminate. But it looks like if PD gets scrapped, which what these people are doing now, then you're going to have to file unilateral motion with the court. And most immigration judges are not inclined to grant that. It doesn't mean you cannot try. That's the best way I can answer that question. Antonia, I don't have time for that. No, I don't have zero patience for things like that. So, okay. Can people travel on H1? Anything about travel, like I said? Because no, she's already gone. See, y'all, if y'all even understand me in my personal life, I am someone who lives a drama-free life. I don't. If you bring drama towards me, that's the last you will have of the audience of my time. I don't do drama, and there's so much tension going on already. For someone to be going back, I don't have the time. No. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I know how much you charge for that. I don't have set fees. That's discussed in the consultation based on each person's case. Okay. Okay, she's already being blocked. I don't have the time for that. Let's keep going. 9:31. Okay, so what's going to happen is I think on Thursday we're going to start with Instagram. Because, and let me just say this, just like the person, and the thing is, people will come on and tell you, you know, there's no compulsion that you have to hire an attorney in your case. No. But when you get it, it doesn't mean that you have an attorney in your case. Doesn't mean your case is not going to be denied. Absolutely not. Unless you're hiring an attorney who only does safe cases. I'm not that. I don't do safe cases. I do cases that would keep you up at night. That's just me. That's just me. Like Miss 𝐸𝐵 got approved what's Monday. Did her RFE keep us up at night? Yes. Because I was like, long back so, and God did it. But if you are detained and you're trying to wait last minute to not get an attorney, you'll probably be on your way out to your country. So if you want to listen to her, that's fine. But for those who know that, you know, they will feel, like I said, I have almost 1,900 emails. A lot of my clients that have me as an attorney, and for me, it gets to a point that each night I have to shut everything down because I have to also take care of my own my mental wellness. I will. There's a whole lot going on. I've got a family as well, so I have to block this out for a set time of the day of each night so that I can take care of me for the next day. The fact that you have an attorney who you think you've done, that's okay. Attorneys are humans as well. There's nothing we can, like, and for me, when you have a consult with me, I try to give you as much information from the beginning, even before you retain my services. I don't sugarcoat nothing. For those who have represented and keep representing, I don't sugarcoat. Some of my clients, I'm very, very, some see it as brash, but a lot of my clients see it as very direct and very honest. I will not sugarcoat anything for you. I don't tell you something that I know I cannot do. And I'll paint a picture for you so you know what your expectation. And we have a summary, like once we set you up in our Dropbox system, there's a folder that gives you a summary of what to expect. There is nothing, hidden, and there's nothing that's overpromised to you because we're all human. But sometimes, just because this is what I went to school for, this is what I do continuing legal education for every single year, every single month. So a word is enough otherwise. All right. Okay, let's see. Okay. All right, so let's go. And I'll tell you, guys, sometimes just learn to just ignore someone and ignore them, they'll go away. Okay, I'm trying to go through this. Explain as it is. Many people have got the definition of illegally. The thing is, everybody sees everyone that is. If you're from another country, they just term you as illegal. And unfortunately, that's the word, because you would not hear that's the word that you want to use because they want to make people not human. That's my baby. But undocumented is the right word. Just like they have alien in the Immigration Nationality Act. Why would you call anyone alien? Yeah, I know you're trying to say a foreigner, but there's a better way you can. But anyway, it is what it is. But when you hear illegal, they think like everyone is crossing the border. But usually, when you say illegal, really just means coming into the country in an unlawful way. So that's usually for those who come in without inspection. However, undocumented usually means that at one point you were documented, meaning you had a visa, you had an I-94, you had a status, you had F1, but you've not overstayed. You don't have any documentation to show that you've got legal presence. That's usually what it should be, but yeah. Okay, so we're like, can do more than 1 hour. My brain cannot do it. If I didn't get you to your question on Instagram, I am so sorry. We'll do, unless there are updates that I really need to share. But Thursday, we will do an hour of questions, and then we'll go from there. I really do appreciate everyone coming in. And like I said, everyone has an opinion. It's like, you know what? Everyone has one. But you can also still do it respectfully, right? And if you're going to be disrespectful, you're going to be blocked out. There's just too much negativity going on that you've got to protect your peace. And that's the way I live my life personally. I do not. There's some people that I would never allow in my home because of the energy they give off. You've got to protect your peace because you have just this one life to live. And so whatever it is that is going on in the world right now, in this country especially, and you're afraid, you're anxious, you're having sleepless nights, put it before the altar of grace. Lay it before the feet of God. Believe that our ultimate defender, the one who intercedes on our behalf, his son Jesus Christ, will intercede on our behalf, and he will fight our battles. This is, I was doing my devotion this morning. There was something that hit me, like this is almost like the end times, where the book of Revelations already predicted this, how long this is going to last for. But at the end of the day, we know that there is the one who is going to make us victorious. And I keep saying it, and I will say it again. There is no confusion with God. There is no coincidence with God. You're here because you've got a purpose for being in this country. And that purpose for which he has brought you into this country has to be fulfilled. So do not let fear dictate what you're going to do each day. Take each day, be proactive, be aware of your surroundings, do what you need to do, file what you can. But at the end of the day, know that you cannot protect yourself the way God can. I'll see you guys on Thursday.